Asira kese nkomo bibia asa nwumre mo dem ofiri ato akwento for radio. Ebredu sense mo esisi ye man Ghana mu asa di asem ayi ato ne din trending news. Ye ji nkonya na ye de beso mo. Enen sem ayi de ba no de di mo akotene ebi ene se. Coronavirus active case na kofom pa. Nenso a doctor for mo ke bi ewo mu e de atodwa se e wo se. Enoma aban no ene Ghana Health Service omo etutu ya yare ye kofom no. Yobeko so ana ya ye no moho eno ene beboa ama yare ye timi free yen so.
I've always maintained that once you increase access to the country, there's more movement. So two things, more gathering and more movement will always lead to an increase in the rate of spread of the disease. This is natural. So what you need to do is that at the points where people gather and at the points where people enter, to put in place measures which will reduce people from spreading infection. So we're focusing now on the points at which people enter, which is at our borders, primarily.
Samson and another danko ekufuado dia to Nigeria fo nyina enim se obehwe ama asumdi omo hwehwe na omem ha sei no womo ensa kasanso na wo se yenti ekua womo ebehwe Ghana yenjumadi ahodo so Ghana ne Nigeria yenjumadi ahodo so se ne be ya Ghana fo bi no ma omususu se Nigeria fo ehwe omo no womo enkoso enye saade no.
Time has come for it to be done, and it is, I think, a very worthwhile step that is being taken. I indeed suggested to Mr. President that perhaps it would be a good idea also to set up some sort of joint ministerial committee.
Sanso ena ukopiem ewo voter regional. Nkofobia ma omo hom ne so a omo aye billboard. Any banners ahodo ena omo edi abo voter region so many fam honum a omo hrem say ye from Western Togoland na omo ate omo ho eno ama posi for omo Eastern region e dey abetuju as science no omo ate
anopa let's say 5 p.m. na so many police district command omunya information say ebinum a command time post or so many area or with inscription Western Togoland, and upon the receipt of the information omu dispatch police force omu ko fiese in Korea na and omu ko enu in Korea and omu to be boss no
Sanso and Vice President at the man Ghana, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia akwa kopiem ewo Tamale Northern Region eho ena obon toa Sanso na Franketu for the man Andy Samanyekio no His Excellency John Dramani Mahama so ewo mentifin atoye mantam no mu a ono so bon toa na yede ensem a omo ede tudwa no mo ebi ebeba besomo ensem we ene afoforo pi na mosomfo Edward Donko magipenia medeba abesomo afei ensem no emu enchiremu enie coronavirus yare a abasu wiase afana nyina they say the ama yenjumedi outdoor yentwen sensan ya na chese normal hodo pi anansa kraya hodo pi ena akom na eno ena Ghana obu nkompo ebehwe mam hase a eno nso bi koso hapa anya asem keto akra na empanifo a omo eda Ghana yen ayaresa ho ensensem omdi ehumu akotene ede abunkompo ede test anase positive cases a wo mem ha sei etimi ababeto edwa amayensa akabi na sene ditu edwa enrada no saa na esiti a case foforo bia entimi emeka ho enrada ichirem say 55 cases ena ebeka ho a na number eye 276 eye death no enan ababeka ho a na akwakoye 280 na sei ena esi etie ewo ehonom ohwe total case Ghana ye wono mema sei na 44,713 na enipa 43,577 etimi ade wo mo ho every year yenum wana mo free mu no celebrity kan no 280 active case 856 na oko amantam auto no ma 16 regions na sei ena esitie Greater Accra region wamo ewo 22,363, Ashanti region wa 10,878, Western region ewo 2,959, Eastern region 2,320, Central 1,878. Volta region 666, Mitchell 666, Western North 619, Northern region 528, Bono region 511, Ahafo region 524, Bono East 777, Upper East region 282, Oti region 237, Upper West region 90, Northern Northeast region and also 19 ɛno ɛyɛ nsɛm a yɛde ato monim ɛwɔ ɛhɔnom na kyerɛ sɛ coronavirus no total case no ɛyɛ 44,713 recoveries ɛyɛ 43,577 wɔn a wɔn afiri mu no ɛyɛ 280 ɛna active case no ɛyɛ 856 ɛno ɛyɛ coronavirus nsɛnsɛm a ɛwɔ ɔman mu ha sei no ebi ɛna yato de apete ɛde amamo no na saa nsɛm ya ɛna wɔn a wɔhwɛ Ghana apɔmuden so doctor baako a ɔno nso ɔwɔ KNUST wɔde ato dwa akyerɛ mu sɛ yareɛ yi ehwɛ mu a ɛkɔfam yie paa nyɛ asɛm ketewa koraa ɛwɔ ɛhɔnom sɛnea yɛhu no mmerɛ bi atwa mu no ɛnɛ yi ɛnte saa.
How best we are to see this in a very holistic way. One thing we can say for sure is that things are better than they used to be. Things have improved, and this is pretty obvious to everyone. If you look at the various kinds of graphs and other information that we put out there, it's pretty apparent that we have made some giant strides. However, being a sign of good things to come is very tricky to predict because we have seen very clearly that this disease is able to rebound. This disease is able to come back even stronger than before. I'll just give you a couple of examples, and I don't mean to necessarily say that things are going to get bad again. But as I said, I just want to help us put things in perspective. Look at a country like New Zealand, not nowhere near Ghana, of course, but this was a country that had been touted with, doing so well with COVID-19. They had gone 3 straight months with not a single case. We're not talking about a single death, not a single case at all, until just a few days after they celebrated that milestone. Then a few cases popped up, and now they have well over 25 deaths or so in New Zealand. Right? You look at what's going on in Hong Kong, what has gone on in South Korea, even currently regarding a rebound, and what is currently going on also in Europe, post people returning from their summer holidays. What this should tell you is that when things get better, it is time to double down and time to really do more of the right thing rather than to suggest one is out of the woods just now.
Okay. Eno Dr. John Amwasi were lecturer ewo Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Ono ena odesa ensem no etudwa ochirem se yare na ewo form de nanso ma ye ho anyi de na enoma ewo se ye no yejai eto onom o se ekoso a na yebo ye homoden na hihye papa edigu akwam no yetumi aye o sanso kirem se yabie airport atum na afenso enipa no dodo na etimi ko omonyuma so no eba sa ya na chinku na timi eba so pa na chinku eba so a eno ena group adwuma no eno so ekoso na eno ena ebetimi ama yare no etimi asa spread na spreading so a eno so ensempa eno nti Ghana Health Service ene aban no so omden hihye papa gu akwam se ne be ya chinku ebekoso no na ekoso no yetimi ate ho afiri ho eno ena bebo ama yare no ase etimi etu.
I've always maintained that once you increase access to the country, there's more movement. So 2 things, more gathering and more movement will always lead to an increase in the rate of spread of the disease. This is natural. So what you need to do is that at the points where people gather and at the points where people enter, to put in place measures which will reduce people from spreading infection. So we're focusing now on the points at which people enter, which is at our borders, primarily at our airports. And this is why, from my understanding, certain screening measures have been put up so that everyone who's coming in is getting tested. Those who are positive will be isolated and will be treated. Now, this is supposed to work, but is definitely not going to be foolproof. There will always be people who will slip through the net. The question is how many will slip through the net. If we are to follow through with exactly what we have proposed, then you anticipate that very few people should slip through the net, and all those who come in a positive will be isolated and treated. I must mention that when you think about doing this kind of testing for people who are coming into the country, it's very important also to look at the rate at which they are coming into the country. This also certainly has an impact on the probability that someone would slip through. And to speak to your other question regarding another strain of the virus, what we know to date is that there has been some mutation. But the very interesting thing that we know from the mutation that has been discovered so far in the second wave in parts of Southeast Asia, particularly in Hong Kong, is that this strain is actually less virulent than the strain that was there before, which scientists are still grappling to understand. So it's a certain part of the gene of the virus which has been deleted or which doesn't exist anymore, and so it makes the virus not less infectious, but it causes less severe disease.
Okay. Dr. John Amwasi, a lecturer at KNUST, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, and yete nenka ewo ehonum. Na ene den so Ghana ban ene Nigeria for na musifo a omo etimi bepie mu omo emu ase etna ase eye enhyehyeye efa ensema ekoso efa Nigeria adwadifo ene Ghana aban mu mpanifo won hyehyeye aban no aye se ahoho a omo edijuma wa ha sei wa won krata enye no ye behwe se befa ekwampa so na wetimenya krata pa na odi edijuma ewa ha sei asemi ehya ase no ehya ase free nkran ma etoto stores awodoma eno ti Nigeria fo no etwere koma omo mpanifo a omo ehwe oman no so se Ghana ban eno ni yie kra eno ti mpanifo etimi abo omo eho modern pa eya omo etimi etu abofo ene Ghana ban etimi abetena ase na eno ene nkomodidi ma ene dey Ghana ban ede ato edwa no ahye ebo no aka kire Nigeria fo nso se enye se oman Ghana ye tete Nigeria fo no da bida oman mu edwo a Nigeria fo no omo ewo bambo pa eya Ghana ni bia entimi entete Nigeria ni bia ewo ahasei na eno ena osanso ede etu edwa se ebre edu se ye ti ekua omo ebehwe sa ensensem yi eso enam se koswa ekoso sa anye Nigeria na chese eye Ghana eno nti se adwadifo no ente omo eho ase a mpanifo ededa ekuo no ano ewo aman mienu entem no ebetimi ede ensem no akwa akomo amampanifo na omo nso etimi ahwe ensem no na omo aka.
The time has come for it to be done, and it is, I think, a very worthwhile step that is being taken. I indeed suggested to Mr. President that perhaps it would be a good idea also to set up some sort of joint ministerial committee. The ministers on both sides would be responsible for shepherding Ghana-Nigerian issues and reporting to both presidents at any one time when matters occurred, how they should be resolved. I don't think that is precluded. And I'm hoping that when I see him on Monday in Miami for the ECOWAS summit, that we can advance those discussions and perhaps come to a final conclusion on the way forward. But there's the way that you yourselves have dealt with the matter is very, very, very satisfactory, and it requires our support. It's the review that you are asking for. Why not? I mean, if that is worth doing from our mutual perspectives, it would make a lot of sense. So you can take it for granted that the request that you've made will be treated seriously. We'll have a look at it.
Ghana Mampeni, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ena yete nenka no na meeting no koso no ena yebusa Inusa Fusaini ono nso edom kuma no wono waka mpanifo am kan bi wom pa eho na ano na odi tu dwa se meeting koso yi committee a ya te wo mo se omo enhwe Ghana yenyuma ene ya padie ene yedwadie eso no wamo enim ho hwe wamo anko meeting na sibi na eno ode sobo ebo committee no mpanifo enim se wama omo eda sa committee na no omo eye very very weak inti ena womo entimi anko akopie mu ewo dwumadie no ase anase committee no womo enye aware ewo meeting a etimi ekoso enedei.
Is when I read in the news that the Nigerian delegation had come to meet the Speaker of Parliament to discuss the recent issues about the closure of the shops of the Nigerians and other West African nationals operating in Ghana. Now, the meeting look costly. Now, I invite the young committee, the industry and tourism committee, because they trade in assembly. Maybe they will blame me, the Minister of Trade and Industries. They will blame me, Speaker. A young committee, the leadership of young committee, trade and industry committee, a week.
Brasel Bejani Edema NDC. Endom Kumano, Yera Inusa Fuseni, Ena Ode Sa and Semno, Etudra Ewo Ehonum. Nansemu or Samopekaya, Ekubi Mamo, Menso say, Wamodie, Wamobeti Omo every voter region. Now, Omo Ate, Omukra, Omo Kwakwachicheno say, Western Togoland. Now, South Western Togoland, and that day, Yedenyane ya. Aposifo akwa kububu post to be a wamo ede abo ekwem se o free voter region na udru samia ehwa aposifo echiremu eche se eho eye so menya femo baby wamo eka eho ebi sa enso ena yewo akuse eho nyina eye miaya wamo nso eka sa enkura wamo ate wamo ha from Western Togoland na che say etia yen constitution no na eno ena posifo a wamo ewo Eastern region wamo ede ato Ghana fo nyina enim say wamo enhwe ema yen constitution ididi wamo so no amanfo enchwe nase eno nti wamo tu anamon ewo ehon ekore say border yede abobo anase poster ye sisi no ho no ye kotutu free ho no nti aposifo ede wom nipa ekoye ehwe say yetutu ni nyina efree ho no na eno ena poster Penny Okasa edema Eastern Region aposifo ekyono Deputy Police PRO dema Eastern Region wode atu edwase omote sa ensem no na omote yen so omo etu anamon efa ho
within the area no you are also allowed by Anopa, let's say 5 p.m. Now, so many police district command. Omunya information say a minimum command time post or so many area or with inscription Western Togoland. And see upon the receipt of the information, Omu dispatch police force or Omu confess in Korea and Jomuko and Korea and see Omu to 2 billboards at their various locations, about 5 billboards and see Omu call police district headquarters or so many. And just after that, your board chiefs Amani said the NSC and we started investigation into the issue. And for now, and to me, arrested Obia because the identity of the people who did those things are still in the secrecy. And so investigation.
Yegusua investigation. Shese wamo muti sa ensemna na mutu sa na mono. Momo bechi wamo no mobisa wamo se die potenti ena wamo etu sa anamono.
Within the area, they are also alarmed by the actions of these faceless people, and they are also on the lookout to get the information that every police to actually get to the bottom of the issue. And as we speak, they dispatching police from Kofodia any so many area of more day and night patrols as we speak. So this is what we have got into so far. Nobody has been arrested so far.
Yenya enchi obia ewo ehonum eno Deputy Police PRO owo Eastern Region Sergeant Francis Humado ono ena yete nenka ewo amanfo bia omo susu se omo ete omo mantama na omo emaya ye frɛ no Western Togoland yete ne nka so mo
akwa yede to mo anim say Ghana yema mpani abedi akire His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia akwa akopiem ewo Mentifido Northern Region Tamale ena okopiem ne nyina eye campaign tour ena wode ahyehye so ewo eho na okoye no anamanebo eye tiawa okoi se okwa akọ kansempa e de akire amanfo a omo ewo Tamale se ne be ya afi abato aye ba beto no omo etimi ahwe animu e de mfie nan asa pi one ne penny anase ne frank etufo eso ewo amamu a omo ebu no omamu ha sei okoye no wode nnwuma hodo a naban etimi aye no ebito won anim se normal hodo ese gu akwan mu a omo ebehwe se de omo aye no kura eye ketwa bi na emom ne papa egu efiri akiri edi akiri eba yede bema amanfo a omo ewo Tamale na orsebo editudwa se ukopiem ewo Tamale a school kese baako ewo hɔ no ma ye frɛ no Animal Health and Production College ne nyinaa ɛyɛ sɛ wɔn sɛ school yi ɛwɔ pɔn Tamale wɔn ɛhwɛ sɛ ɛmoa a yɛyɛ no Tamale no sɛ yare bi ɛba wɔn mu a yɛtumi anya akrakyefo wɔn betumi ahwɛ ama saa yare no wɔn ɛtumi esi ano kwan school yi ba yɛ akyɛ yie paa ɛkɔ bɛyɛ sɛ mfie bɛyɛ sɛ aduosia enie na ɛno ɛna mpanimfoɔ ɛhwɛ sɛ omo ebetimi ama school yatriti mu amna ba be University of Agriculture eno eye ensema Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia edito amanfo a okokohia no ewo Tamale a ochirim se aban no aye na adwene se School of Animal Health and Production wamo ebehwe ama sisi ababe suapon kese pa aye be friend University of Agriculture say ena ochire ne nsem emu
for all their cooperation. District Hospital is going to be built here. Pont Tamale Veterinary School is going to be converted into an agricultural university as we see the expansion of university demand as people finish senior high school, and will continue all the progress that we are making.
Ghana Mampeni abedi echire His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ena yete nenka ewo eho na yefiri won so a ne yenko Frank Etufo de ma NDC amanyekuo no eho John Dramani Mahama no so ekokopiem ewo Upper West ne nyina ye nto abokro na ena one nananom empanifo nananom hemfo ehia mu ode ato on anim se ohwe se wo pray se obeba beye omampani ni mpre no so biem no ne nyina eye nnwuma hodo a oto aso no oye a ofira akonwa so aban obefa akonwa yi wagya nnwuma ne nyina ewo nwura mu no oba behwe se nnwuma a yegya no nwura mu nyina no yebesa ede yensa akọ ho biem na yate yensa afiri ho se ne ba ho beba so beba mfaso ede ama Ghana fo nyina na eno ena auditor dwa se okopiem ewo UDS wa campus a project a odo pi ena na oye na so free akonwa iso no ni nyina agye apansam azesei eni hobiem ose auditor dwa se ohwe ekwan ahodo a ewo Upper West Regional ehia NCCA ehia se eye na eno so ebeye first class roads a ewo mem ha sei na so aban otiso yi wabunani eguso a wanyeye na obebima obebo ne homoden se obetimi asiesie akwan no amena ba beye sononkokora na ochire mu se project bi a aban no de sinani so se oya wato ndin one village one dam no eye akwan a aban no fa so na wode asai oman ne sikapa ne nyina echire mu se dam a aban no dika aye no ohwema ohamu nchichemu aduokono enum de enye papa ni nyina enye dam be 95% enye papa ni nyina enesen nsuo eto a etoi nsuo netimi atwi afa dam a yaheda boka se yenye no eso na se dam oye na nsuo to na nsuo timi twifa so a na se dam no eye papa no na se enye papa kra ebi nso wo ho no ma pebrem dam no timi we na aye mfuturo
akuafo no kra ntimi enya nsuo engu omo emfudie so nti woyɛ enoma bi tisese ya na kyerɛ ɔman no na kyerɛ wo sɛ omo esika na wakyerɛm sɛ saa ade no ɛyɛ ade bi a entwa ye enkoyie kra na nana dodanko akufo ado ne one village one dam project na wɔyɛ no ɛyɛ ade bi a ehwie ɔman no sika gu paa ne tu apem nso ɛnenam western north a ɔbɔ entoa na wokyerɛm sɛ aban no ɛba John Dramani Mahama aban no sa bebie ma project ahodo a no wɔyɛ no secondary schools emu no ɛno nso wɔbɛtoa so na watimi asiesie any project ahodo a ɛwɔ sɛ ɔmo ɛyɛ no western north no nso wɔmo ɛde wɔmo ani bɛkɔ ho na ɔmo atimi awie saa project ne nyinaa Enrada NDC for a yen for Enchiemu Johnson a seedun ketia and a casaye now or the two just ukopiem war western north and SMP and a course or metra Buno East ukopiem or Buno Easter and SMP and it's me ecopiem hooliganism and sempa and a ecopiem or the semi etuja Enrada titru ukopiem or banda or cheni ba kwa nipa ba kwa akwaje nteteze o kyerɛkyerɛ ni ɔno kora de ɔhwere no nkwa ɛwɔ ɛho na ɛno ɛna ɔkyerɛm sɛ regional minister wɔwɔ Buno East no onim saa hooliganism nsɛnsɛm ɛkɔɔ soɔ no ɛho ɛno ɛna yɛwura Kofi Amoako hene ɛde abɛto dwa sɛ nsɛm a Johnson Asiedu ɛkaeɛ no ɛyɛ nsɛm bi a nokora bia enim ehurudunhuradasɛm ɛna ɛne akohwisɛm ɛna yɛwura Johnson Asiedu nketea ɛka no ɛnrada no na ɔno deɛ nsɛm a anaasoboa a Johnson Asiedu nketea ɛde ɛbɔɔ no ne nyinaa no ɛyɛ adeɛ bi a ɛnokora bia enim yɛwura Kofi Amoako hene
ɛtiɛ gyina so de rɔka asɛm deɛ na megye di sɛ bɛne bɛnim ho bi abɛkɔhyɛ baabi yɛ obiara nim sɛnea ne voice ɛtiɛ me ankasa nso a me ne ho yɛrɛka sɛ obiara baabi a mɛgyina kasa biara obiara nim na the same people papa bɛde tape nkorɔ in one breath better mene meko kasa ansem here on social media baby and another breath better Martin Otijako Nina enya no kre and ye kra mi no he yen kasasa a first time asem na take with him so only the content any awaya ansem him kra here sabe baby MPP abane recognize the minister and the deputy here we couldn't stood so low for that content
Yura Kofi Amoako hene were regional minister Eddie Buno East one summer and rather Johnson Asiedu nketea general secretary Edema NDC Amanyukuo no ne press conference awye ya obubo ni din no and ono so eyi na no ewo saa ensem no eho na nyame ya adom ochina enu ada de to manim se NDP omobe ya kremi ye maame Kunadu Ajiman Rollins former first lady omobe boni din se ono ena Otu Franka ede ama NDP Amanyukuo no na eno ena mpanifo eye nhyehyem eye nhyehyɛ se nyame adom a ochina ene de ya ene nyame adom ene mpanifo ehye dwumadi na ase a me mo kasa yi dwumadi no ekoso dendende anya asem keto akra ene de yi omo ehwe se mpanifo a efri mantam ahodo ebeba no omeba behiem ewo enkran se ne be ya dwumadi ahodo ene mpanifo ahodo ya wo se omo yi wo na omo da ekuo na no nso womo etimi apa womo hontoma ana womo yi womo na eno ena ochiremu se na Kunadu Ajiman Rollins nyameboa na se wofa akunwa na obeboa amahyehyɛ papa wode egu akwan mu amagana fo eho ahan no yibisa nse maame Kunadu Ajiman Rollins o stand chance se o win abeya yebetu ya na ochiremu se okọ eko a obi enkasa obedi nchu na emom se nyame ya adom na ne nsam omonsam ombeka kire Ghana fo na to omasum na omo etia omugidie se enkunimdie ebeba ede ama NDP Amanyukuo no yewura Alhaji Mohammed wono ena oye general secretary de ma NDP Amanyukuo no Alhaji Mohammed Frimpong
to look at least certain decisions and past resolutions against tomorrow on the election of national officers as well as the flag bearer. Initially, conduct the acclamation of national officers as well as the flag bearer. Once again, it's not clear. It goes into a contest with pessimism. We are very optimistic. We've played our role as a political party in terms of getting our role in the national discourse, which is very, very important. Getting our following understand very well governance issues, as well as we also helping to shape opinions on issues. So all this combined, we've already stirred up our following in the communities and the regions, and that is why, because of COVID-19 restrictions, we are getting this representation from the regions to come and represent the rank and file, in the districts and the constituencies. So at the end of the day, we see how best we advance our campaign.
Eno Alhaji Mohammed Frimpong we General Secretary Edema NDP amanyekuno ono na yetene nka efa NDP wo mo hye ya mo edi agu akwam nyame adom enne ene ochina efa wo mo flag bearer mo kwakopa ne ho ntoma de akire kuno ene Ghana for enyina na Japan Royal deal no that's why trend e wo mem ha say anya asem keto akra na ene dey Finance Minister of Furiata Akasa na wachrim se was Ghana ni bia obon homodin a was say ye contract and say ye de dwumedie emano no eni kwa say ye toto na say o say ye de emano ne nyina ye nsem a ebinom eka say mohwe yero safomafo ne ba a ye de contract amano a ade bia chese kururu bi ebon mu no eno okansa ensem yi e de justify se ho ehia se ye hwe saade no pa se Ghana ni bi ss ye ma no adwuma ebidia na chese ya hyase na ye de political affiliation na se de nsensem bi amanyosem frafra ho na chese nipa no ne capability no ya to atwene kura de wo se ye hwe no ye nhwe eno na chese adane amanyosem na eno ena Ghana yema mpani dada osanso ye Frank Etufo de ma ndis amanyekuno ekasafa ho na eno ena France Minister of Furiata echirimu se nsema yem papa anase Ghana yema mpani dada John Dramani mama ekan no eye nsem bia entwa ye
mama asema okay na we one tries on the idea originally. Now, as former head of business, we knew how markets respond to that. I think there's a certain measure of the Republic that is ambitious and that has to be managed. And we are not so emphatic.
Finance Minister Ken Oforiatta ono ena yetene ne ewo ehonom no na yebeko ensem fufromu ye konsem fufromu a enra and ben ansanie ana ekone nan enie ena Ghana ye bietum se mo a mo betimi achata mo plane free man fufromu no mo betimi aba omaimu asei na eno ena mpanifo eye nhihye se omo behwe na omo test ahodo no omo etimi abo sene beya obi entimi fa yarebone a ye friend of COVID-19 entimi ema mepiem ewo omem ha sei na eno ena aviation minister wade ato edwa se CCID enipa bese 247 na etimi ebepiem ewo omem ha sei na tester omo eboye no obi eniwa watimi attest positive ewo ehonom ochire mu se Ghana for do na ena ekasa se $150 na yese so opese oba asia oba test no wo passenger na obefa eho kana eye ade bi eka no eso no ena ochirem se ohwe na se eka no eso a ene de hia ne se obetena ba bia wote se na ebe ya yibietum na test bobi ani ho no ma watimi aba na se oba omema se nko ade a ene test no yebebo na eno ena yechirem se ochirem se ohwe case no so a ekoso na Bino any Minister of Health, one more bomb home ye pa, one more air se, Ubipia, ye bebon a test,
ama yehu say we na yare no ewo mu anase we na yare no enini mu.
Get down to the post health people and they are found to be positive, and so far nobody has come to be positive. But if it so happens that anybody is positive, that is having the virus, then he will be ushered to another lane to the holding bay where the medical officials will engage them and find a way to get them to the going on well. The testing is going on, all results are negative, but also on arrival they are checked to make sure that they got a negative certificate from outside.
And no, aviation minister Yewura Joseph Kofi Ada ena yetene nka ewo honum no. Nyame ya adoma enche kra na emebuna omo awie school free suapon ahodo mu no. Womo etimi aba enyuma ahodo mu aba beboa. Na chese national service one program na enche kra womo ebehya ase na ansa na yebe postu amo akọ school anase office bi akọ ejuma no e wo se wo ye registration na eduru so ajai edoma etimi ebo ewo national service one regional offices any emia omo ye registration no enya asem keto akra na eno na COVID-19 mun senseminti ye ne mpanifo a womo eda NSS dwumadie no ano edi enkomo Yewura Opoku Mensa ono ena santimantema sei woye NSS boss ewa ha sei yene ne di nkomo se dapain ena dwumadie no kra registration no ebehya ase eno no wochirem se nyame ya adoma adwada di anim ya omo behya ase a register womo awie school enipa be se 7,000 and as 87,000 no omo behwe se omo ebetimi atwetwere womo edin na omo edo omo akọ miamia ahodo se ne beya bosumi ayeba besimi omo behye omo dwumadie ahodo ase na eno no wochirem sa santimantema ase kura enko ano enipa omo etimi awie school na omo ba bedi dwuma as a national service personnel no 16,000 enipa 16,000 ena eba santimantema ase wochirem se miensa ena omo de asi wo so ombe registration no ebi bekoso ewo Jubilee Park sanso ena KNUST ebi bekoso ena afinso NSS one regional officer we edum no so ehonso ebi bekoso na ode ato edwase nyame ya adoma kane no na omtimi bo omoden register nipa be se ahasa 300 nanso enam COVID-19 munti omo ebehwese enipa oha eduonum ena omo ebetimi a register wo mo na eno ena obuchirim se safety protocols no so ebeye ejuma pa enye asem keto akra
Your registration. Send an hour as a nation one name over 86,000. Ashanti region Guano, over 16,000. Into your check, Ashanti region movements. Your regional secretariat, Yanum, Jubilee, and a KNUS. Any IT specialist, Nadine Comose, because of the COVID, you might say last year, not sent to be on the average, you register in Pabe 300. By another year, you call 150 a day at every center. It is a Nipano Eco Bukua, the whole day, and a 150. And I increase the hands of staff now on your registration. Now, about COVID preparation is a protocol, and also Sebi, the crowd was eating juice. And Yankopon Monday, any of your registration was anti-registered.
I know a NSS boss, Opoku Mensa, a war, a santimantema say, one and now, national service scheme, no, one and oda or more anno, or only a 10 and car, a honum. Kamya say edru insutobra yenuanoma wo mo ewo mentifido eya wo brepa eye and I'm saying sure to ho no enye insu keto akra na eno entonche no bagredama ewo Burkina Faso ne sanso epietuma na chese ye nuanoma wo ewo mentifido akuafo no eya wo ho kire wo ye papa afin so saa na ekoyeye womo ebie bakredam no etum ne nsukasi a eto ewo mentifido no ano atimi ama akuafo a omo ewo upper east region titiru boko west no enya asem keto akra womo mfu nyuma ahodo be se oha eso no ena atimi asai ewo honum hundreds of farmlands ena atimi asai ewo eho
na no na akuafo no dodo na womo esu na chese aye arehosem edi ama womo pa se wiabre ukoto eye adwuma saa na chese yebie bagredam no etuma na aba betwi afaso na saa hawi enye afi nko afi bia science mi esi na eno na nadmo ekua womo ehwe na chese atorenchem esi a womo etimi aboa ama womo ho ebeka no womo etimi enye bibi efrimu no ana womo akọ womo emoa no ebo womo modin bia sa afi enka womo ebetwe womo efri ba bia ensuo no efa na enso kuafo e ka kire womo no womo de ayehwebu ada womo entiase ne nyina enisen womo ni bia omo beko akọ adwuma eno nti afi so ensu a etoye ene bagredama ebietu mu no eno so atimi ama akuafo no munyuma ahodo bebre no atimi asɛ a enya asɛm keto akra ewo ehonom eno nti akuafo no chese arehosem pa ena atimi ato omo ewo ehonom yenyina sa arehosem so na yemfa ene trending news no ensi ewo ha sei mote ensem epi meeting ede edwedonko nyame ya adoma ochina nso de bekem bia no yede beba besom no ewo trending news eso meeting once again ede edwedonko we na mingwa dante na minji odoni do shudum adipa shudum we senyu weda mingwa irangwa na minji Otobiye, Fata, Nkrume. Every member Krumano, Sa station we are namiti, into also for Fidian tour, the table what it. Data Kennedy, Macram.
Hey, I went to war in you. I put to 77 put a man on you. I went to war. Papa Smiley, awareness in my wamo. I went to war in you. I put to 77 put a man on you. I went to war in you. Papa Smiley, awareness in my wamo. There you go. He goes by the name Papa Smiley and got the vibes that will make you feel irate. Tune in and stay tuned to Bamaso. It's a party the king Smiley. Nana Wokwaso. Yo, on in Nanka Saturday web. Na phone so reborn in Chidom from Monday to Friday, 3 to 7 p.m. Tune into Bamaso on a 24 radio. Yo, 24 radio. I put to 77 put a man on you. I went to 4